Stephen Colbert is officially back on television, and the shocking part is that he barely stayed away for even a single day. Less than 24 hours after the emotionally signing off from CBS's legendary The Late Show, Colbert stunned fans by suddenly reappearing on TV in a completely unexpected move that immediately sent social media into a frenzy. After months of controversy surrounding the cancellation of his late-night show, political speculation, emotional farewell tributes, and non-stop reactions from Hollywood, viewers thought the longtime hosts might finally take a break. Instead, Stephen Colbert returned almost instantly, proving that he may be done with network late night, but he is definitely not done entertaining audiences. The dramatic comeback happened on May 22, 2026, just one day after Colbert aired the final episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on CBS. The finale itself marked the end of an entire television era. The Late Show franchise had existed for more than 3 decades, beginning with David Letterman before Colbert took over in 2015. Over the last 11 years, Colbert transformed the program into the #1 late-night show on television, mixing political satire, celebrity interviews, emotional storytelling, and viral comedy segments that made headlines almost every single week. But despite the rating success, CBS confirmed the cancellation of the show amid what the company described as financial pressures and changes in the late-night television industry. Still, the timing of the cancellation sparked immediate backlash because it happened shortly after Colbert publicly criticized Paramount Global, CBS's parent company, over its reported settlement connected to Donald Trump while Paramount was pursuing a major merger deal with Skydance. Critics, politicians, celebrities, and fans questioned whether the cancellation was truly financial or whether political pressure played a role behind the scenes. Colbert himself never fully accepted the explanation publicly. During his final weeks on air, he continued making jokes about the situation, taking subtle and sometimes direct shots at CBS and Paramount while maintaining the same sarcastic tone that made him famous. Fans praised him for refusing to back down, and many believed his farewell episodes felt less like a normal TV ending and more like a cultural moment. Then came the emotional series finale on May 21st. Colbert stood on the historic stage of the Ed Sullivan Theater and reflected on his incredible run. He thanked his staff, his family, and the audience that supported him throughout more than a decade of late-night dominance. He reportedly told viewers that he never took the opportunity for granted and described himself as lucky enough to be here for the last 11 years. The finale episode featured huge celebrity appearances, emotional callbacks, and tributes to the show's legacy. Fans online described the finale as both heartbreaking and inspiring, with many calling it the end of an important chapter in American television. But then came the twist nobody expected. Instead of disappearing quietly, Colbert resurfaced immediately on a small Michigan public access television show called Only in Monroe, and the internet absolutely exploded when clips of the appearance started circulating online. The contrast was almost unbelievable. One night, he was saying goodbye on one of the biggest stages in entertainment history. The very next day, he was hosting a quirky local access show in Monroe, Michigan, joking as if nothing had happened. The appearance was especially meaningful because Only in Monroe already had history with Colbert. Back in 2015, before officially taking over The Late Show, Colbert had appeared on the same public access program in a hilarious guest hosting stunt that became unexpectedly iconic among fans. So his return in 2026 felt symbolic, almost like he was coming full circle after finishing his CBS journey. As soon as the show began, Colbert immediately addressed the elephant in the room with classic sarcasm. He joked that it had been an excruciating 23 hours since he last appeared on television. That single line instantly went viral because it perfectly captured both his humor and the absurdity of the situation. Fans loved the fact that he didn't disappear, didn't stay silent, and instead jumped right back into comedy almost immediately after one of the most emotional endings of his career. The special episode turned into a full celebrity-filled event. Actor Jeff Daniels appeared, musician Jack White joined in, Steve Buscemi made a cameo, rap superstar Eminem also appeared in a surprise moment that immediately grabbed headlines. The show blended local humor, celebrity comedy bits, bizarre sketches, political jokes, and multiple references to Colbert's sudden CBS exit. At one point, the episode reportedly featured furniture destruction and even a dumpster fire gag that many viewers interpreted as a direct symbolic shot at the way the network departure was handled. And viewers absolutely noticed the hidden messaging. Many fans online praised Colbert for turning a tiny local access show into one of the most talked about television events of the week. Others said his appearance proved that Colbert never needed a massive corporate network to remain culturally relevant. Social media exploded with reactions like, "Stephen Colbert just pulled the funniest revenge move in TV history," while others called it the greatest comeback ever staged in less than 24 hours. The timing also intensified the already heated conversations surrounding the cancellation of The Late Show. Over the past year, critics have questioned whether Colbert's outspoken criticism of Donald Trump and Paramount leadership contributed to the network's decision. While CBS repeatedly insisted the cancellation was purely financial, many viewers remained skeptical because Colbert had continued to lead late-night ratings despite the shrinking economics of traditional television. Donald Trump himself added even more fuel to the fire after the finale aired. Reports revealed that Trump shared an AI-generated video mocking Colbert shortly after the final episode ended. The video allegedly showed a fictional version of Trump throwing Colbert into a dumpster while music played in the background. The clip immediately became controversial online, with critics calling it bizarre and supporters celebrating it. Trump also reportedly posted comments celebrating the end of Colbert's show and predicted that more late-night hosts would soon disappear as well. That reaction only increased sympathy for Colbert among many fans and fellow entertainers. Hollywood figures, comedians, journalists, and politicians had already rallied behind him after the cancellation news first broke. Some public figures even questioned whether media companies were becoming too willing to silence outspoken voices in exchange for political or financial convenience. Meanwhile, many fans argued that Colbert represented something unique in modern late-night television. Unlike hosts who focused purely on celebrity interviews or internet comedy, Colbert combined sharp political satire with emotional vulnerability. Supporters often pointed to interviews where he openly discussed grief, faith, family, and personal struggles while still making audiences laugh. Critics and fans alike acknowledged that he brought a rare emotional intelligence to late-night TV that separated him from many competitors. And now, ironically, his sudden departure from CBS may have made him even more culturally powerful. Industry insiders are already speculating about what happens next. Some believe streaming platforms will aggressively pursue Colbert because his audience remains extremely loyal. Others think he could launch an independent digital show without the restrictions of network television. Some even wonder if he intentionally used the Only in Monroe appearance to test the waters for a more unconventional future outside the traditional late-night system. What makes the entire story even more fascinating is how symbolic the Monroe appearance became. Instead of mourning the loss of a corporate TV job, Colbert transformed the moment into comedy. Rather than disappearing quietly, he reminded audiences that entertainment doesn't belong only to giant networks or billion-dollar media companies. A tiny public access show in Michigan suddenly became the center of the entertainment world for a night because Stephen Colbert showed up and made it matter. Fans also noticed that many of his longtime staff members were acknowledged during the Monroe broadcast credits, which added another emotional layer to the event. After years of working together on The Late Show, the public access special almost felt like a rebellious after-party, celebrating the survival of the creative team despite the cancellation. At the same time, the entire situation reflects the rapidly changing entertainment industry. Traditional late-night television has struggled in recent years as younger audiences shift towards streaming, podcasts, TikTok clips, YouTube creators, and social media commentary. Even highly successful hosts face enormous financial pressure because advertising revenue continues to shrink across broadcast television. Colbert may have been number one in ratings, but the business model around late-night TV has fundamentally changed. Still, many viewers believe his cancellation represented more than economics. To them, Colbert became a symbol of the growing tension between corporate media, political influence, and freedom of expression in entertainment. Whether those suspicions are true or not, the controversy surrounding his departure has only strengthened public interest in what he does next. And if his immediate TV return proves anything, it's that Stephen Colbert has absolutely no intention of fading away quietly. In fact, some fans are already calling this the beginning of Colbert's post-network era, where he may become even more unpredictable, creative, and outspoken without CBS restrictions. Others simply celebrated seeing him back on screen so quickly after such an emotional goodbye. For longtime viewers, it felt comforting to know that even after the end of The Late Show, Colbert's voice, humor, and presence are still very much alive. One of the biggest reactions online came from viewers who said the Monroe appearance reminded them why they fell in love with Colbert in the first place. Before becoming a polished network host, he built his reputation through unconventional satire, fearless comedy, and absurd humor. By returning to a tiny public access setting immediately after leaving one of television's biggest stages, he almost seemed to reconnect with those roots in the most unexpected way possible. Now, the big question is obvious. What comes next? Will Stephen Colbert launch a new streaming project? Will another network try to sign him immediately? Could he create an independent online show, free from corporate oversight? Or will he continue surprising audiences with bizarre appearances and unexpected projects that keep everyone guessing? At this point, nobody knows for sure. But one thing is becoming crystal clear. The end of The Late Show was not the end of Stephen Colbert. If anything, it may have only started an entirely new chapter in his career. And based on the massive public reaction to his instant comeback, audiences are clearly ready to follow him wherever he goes next. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.